The Ireland-based Refugee Children's Education Trust provided financial assistance to Burmese refugee children who are pursuing studies in New Delhi, India at the Burmese Community Resource Center Hall on October 23rd.
My child is suffering from TB. His monthly tuition fees are rupees 250. I am a widow and I cannot provide full support for his education. I face a lot of difficulties.
This assistance can cover only admission fees and the cost of uniforms. It will not cover monthly tuition fees. We are facing a lot of difficulties every day. Anyway, we are very happy to receive rupees 3,000 for my 2 children in such difficult times. I hope my children can sit for the examination after paying tuition fees due with this assistance.
In the wake of the 1988 popular uprising in Burma, many pro-democracy activists fled to the borders and took refuge. Among them, there were only about 100 refugees sheltering on the Indo-Burma border. Eventually, they left for New Delhi and applied for UNHCR refugee status for legal protection and financial assistance. Since then, they live in New Delhi. The refugee population increased, and now there are 1,800 Burmese in New Delhi alone. They fled to India under mounting oppression, poverty, and human rights violation. A former teacher elaborates on the state of affairs of education in Burma.
The standard and quality of education in India is much different and much higher than in Burma. English language teaching starts from the nursery level here. Also, the medium of instruction in the schools is in English. Therefore, it is not surprising that even primary level children can speak in English. They are smart and confident.
In Burma, English language is taught in kindergarten too, but the medium of instruction is in Burmese, and all other subjects are taught in Burmese. The primary level curriculum in Burma is outdated and does not reflect the current situation in Burma. Students in Burma are weak in general knowledge. Up to the 8th standard, the textbooks of 5 subjects are in Burmese. Due to the difference in standard and quality of education in these two countries, Burmese children encounter a lot of difficulties in pursuing their studies. Most refugee families have school-going children, so the number of children is almost half the total refugee population. Since 2003, the UNHCR has stopped the meager subsistence allowance provided to the refugees, putting them in trouble in terms of livelihood. They cannot find proper employment to generate income. This situation has led to children dropping from their schools.
I could not find a job till now. Employers do not want people who cannot speak Hindi and who are getting old like me. After the shortage of our subsistence allowance by the UNHCR, my 4 children could not continue the studies. But thanks to the assistance provided, my 3 children can continue the education. One is in the nursery, another one is in the 1st grade, and the last one is in his 6th grade. UNHCR provides rupees 2,500 per annum. It can cover only school admission fees, but it is not enough for tuition fees. If government cannot provide assistance anymore, my children will have to leave their schools. Most Indian employers do not pay our wages on time, so we cannot pay the school expenses for our children on time. We are grateful to receive this assistance in such hard times. Now, we can pay our children's tuition fees which are due with the assistance. Some children are not able to enroll in school at all, and some are forced to terminate the education due to non-availability of adequate funds.
We spend a lot on our tuition fees, textbooks, stationery and other expenses. I cannot tell about the total expenses for a year, but the tuition fee for 6th grade is rupees 300. The textbooks and stationery are extra. We still have many Jews in our school. Sometimes we borrow money for our school expenses. We were in big trouble last year. We could not pay tuition fees and the principal expelled us from the school.
ဒီလိုအကူငွေငွေကိုအကယ်လို့များမရဘဲနဲ့ဒီတိုင်းပဲကျွန်တော်တို့ဆက်သွားနေမယ်ဆိုလို့ရှိရင်
If we do not receive assistance such as this, I cannot say what will happen to our children. According to the rules, the school can debar our children from classes and examinations. This is the usual case in Burmese refugee community. We will have to face such a situation if we do not get more assistance such as this.
After hearing the difficulties faced by Burmese refugees, some well-wishers have been donating their hard-earned money since 2003. In 2006, the Refugee Children's Education Trust was formed to assist them systematically and uniformly. On October 23, 2006, the trust provided 1,500 rupees each to a total of 167 children. The trust intends to expand this program later. Some students and their parents said that they are glad to receive this assistance, though it cannot cover all their school expenses.
This assistance is not enough for me. I owe money to many people, totaling rupees 4,000. Yet I thank them. It can ease our financial burden as we cannot pay in full ourselves. I wish they continue this assistance in the future. We can request the school to defer the payment only 2 or 3 times, but not more than that. We will pay this rupees 1,500 for their tuition fees tomorrow. Since we have more than one child, we owe rupees 300 to 400 every month to the money lender.
Previously, we got rupees 3,000 per child. It was very useful. I wrote a note in Burmese thanking them. I remember well what I wrote in the letter. Getting this assistance is like getting a cup of water in the desert.
Go.